Welcome to the e-learning platform of Cambridge International School, the SUA. This session is for the subject of accountancy for grade 12th commerce. This is Kamaljeet Sharma, PGT Accountancy, teaching accountancy for grade 11th and 12th in Cambridge International School, the SUA. Today, we will start the last chapter of the topic accounting for partnership firm. So the name of the chapter is dissolution of firm. This is the last chapter of partnership. In this chapter, we will learn about the closure of accounts at the time of dissolution of a firm. Dear students, in the previous session, we have completed the chapter number 7, that is death of a partner, from the book Double Entry Bookkeeping by T.S. Garewal. Today we will start new chapter, that is chapter number 8, dissolution of a firm. In this chapter, we will cover the topics like meaning of dissolution of firm, difference between dissolution of a partnership and dissolution of a firm, modes of dissolution of firm, procedures for settlement of accounts, difference between firm's debt and private debts, accounting entries at the time of dissolution of firm, difference between revaluation account and realization account, and preparation of realization account, partners capital account, and bank account. Let us start with the introduction. Dissolution of firm means that the firm is decided to close down its business. At the time of dissolution of the firm, the assets of the firm are sold and liabilities are paid off. And out of the remaining amount, the accounts of partners are settled. Dissolution of partnership means change in relationship among the partners, but the firm continues. On the other hand, dissolution of firm means business of the firm discontinued, that is closed, and the firm is wound up, that is dissolved. So, in the eyes of the law, the meaning of dissolution is, according to Section 39 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, dissolution of the firm means dissolution of partnership among all the partners in the firm. In such an event, all assets of the firm are realized, that is sold, and liabilities are paid. The balance, if any, is paid to the partners in settlement of their accounts. If there is any shortfall in meeting outside liabilities, it is met by the partners from their private assets. Dissolution may take place in any of the following ways. First, when all partners are agreeing to dissolve the firm as per the Section 40 of Indian Partnership Act 1932. Second one is compulsory dissolution as per the Section 41. That is on insolvency of all partners or all partners except one partner. And on the business become unlawful means when the law of the country does not support the business. The third one is dissolution on the happening of certain contingencies. Subject to contract between the partners, a firm is dissolved by the expiry of the term for which the firm was formed, the completion of the venture or the ventures for which the firm was formed, the death of a partner, or the adjudication of a partner as insolvent. Next one is when any one of the partners gives a notice in writing to other partners in case of partnership at will as per section 43. The next one is dissolution by court as per section 44 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932. A court may dissolve a firm on any of the following grounds, that is insanity of a partner means the partner becomes unsound of mind, then permanent incapacity of a partner, then misconduct of or by a partner, persistent breach of agreement by a partner, then transfer of interest by a partner, and improbability of carrying on the business except at a loss, or any other ground on which court is satisfied that it would be just equitable to dissolve the firm. Now, what is the difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of firm? The first basis of distinction is status of business. In dissolution of partnership, only the old partnership comes to an end. It will not affect the continuation of the business. But in case of dissolution of firm, the firm leads to the discontinuation of business. The second basis of distinction is settlement of assets and liabilities. In dissolution of partnership, all the assets are revalued and all the liabilities are reassessed and new balance sheet is drawn. But in case of dissolution of firm, all assets are realized, that is sold off, and all liabilities are paid off. It involves winding up of the firm. The third point of distinction is preparation of accounts. In dissolution of partnership, revaluation account is prepared to determine the profit or loss on the revaluation. It is a nominal account in nature. Whereas at the time of dissolution of firm, a realization account is prepared to determine profit or loss on realization. It is a real account. The next basis of distinction is role of court. In dissolution of partnership, court does not intervene as partnership is dissolved by mutual agreement. But in dissolution of firm, a firm can be dissolved by court's order. The next basis of distinction is closure of books. In dissolution of partnership, it does not require closure of books because the business is not terminated. But in case of dissolution of firm, all the books of accounts are closed. Now comes the settlement of accounts as per the section 48 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932. The provisions of section 48 relating to the settlement of accounts at the time of dissolution of the firm are: first one is treatment of losses. The losses including deficiencies of capital are to be paid in the following manner: first out of profits, then out of capital, and lastly by partners individually in their profit sharing ratio. These provisions are as per the section 48 subsection A of Indian Partnership Act 1932. Then comes the application of assets. The assets of the firm, including the sums, if any, contributed by the partners to make up the deficiencies of capital, be applied in the following manner and order. First, in firms in paying firms debtors to the third parties, in paying to each partner ratably what is due to him on account of loans or advances, in paying to each partner ratably what is due to him on account of capital, and residue, if any, shall be divided among partners in their profit sharing ratio. And this is as per the section 48, subsection B of Partnership Act 1932. The next is treatment of firm's debt and private debts as per the section 49 of Partnership Act 1932. Debts which the firm owes to outsiders are known as firm's debts, whereas the debts which a partner owes in personal capacity are known as private debts. So, where there are firm's debt and partner's private debts, the following provision shall apply. The number one is firm's property shall be applied first in payment of firm's debt, then the surplus, if any, is applied towards payment of partner's private debts to the extent the concerned partner is entitled to share in the surplus. The second one is partner's private property shall be applied first in payment of his private debts and the surplus, if any, in payment of firm's debt if the firm's liability exceed the firm's asset as per the provisions of the section 49 of Indian Partnership Act 1932. Now I'll discuss the distinction between the difference between firm's debt and private debts. The first basis of distinction is who incurs. So firm's debt are incurred by the firm, whereas private debts are incurred by a partner in the individual capacity of a household and not in the capacity of a partner of a firm. Now the second point of distinction is who is liable. So for firm's debt, all partners are jointly or severally liable. But in case of private debts, only the concerned partner is liable. Now, next basis of distinction is application of firm's property. For firm's debt, firm's property shall be applied first, and for private debts, only the share of concerned partner in the excess of firm's property over firm's debt can be applied. The next point of distinction is application of private property. For firm's debt, only the excess of partner's private property over his private debts can be applied. But in case of private debts, private property shall be applied first. As you know, we have prepared revaluation account at the time of change in profit sharing ratio, admission of a new partner, retirement of a partner, death of a partner. But in this chapter, in this topic, dissolution of firm, will prepare realization account. So there are certain differences between the revaluation account and realization account. The first basis of distinction is meaning. So in case of revaluation account, it records the effect of assets and liabilities, whereas in case of realization account, it records realization of various assets and payment of various liabilities. Now the second point of distinction is purpose. So revaluation account is prepared to determine the net profit or loss on revaluation account, whereas realization account is prepared to determine the net profit or loss on realization. The next point of distinction is when prepared. So revaluation account is prepared at the time of reconstitution of partnership. For example, on admission of a new partner, retirement of a partner, death of a partner, as well as change of profit sharing ratio. Whereas realization account, in case of realization account, it is prepared at the time of dissolution of firm. The next point of distinction is transfer of balance. So in case of revaluation account, its balance is transferred only to old partner's capital account. Whereas in case of realization account, its balance is transferred to all partners' capital account. The next point of distinction is basis of entries relating to the assets and liabilities. In case of revaluation account, entries relating to assets and liabilities are made on the basis of difference between the book values and the revalued figures. Whereas in the case of realization account, entries relating to assets and liabilities are made on the basis of their book values and actual payments. The next point of distinction is time of preparation. Revaluation account may be required to be prepared at a number of occasions during the lifetime of the firm, whereas realization account is prepared only once during the lifetime of a firm, because after the preparation of realization account, partnership firms come the business of partnership comes to an end. So students, in this session we learned the meaning of dissolution of firm, difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of firm, then modes of dissolution, settlements of accounts, difference between firm's debt and private debts, difference between revaluation account and realization account. These all theoretical concepts plays an important role while studying this chapter. In the next session, we will move to the practical aspect of the topic. I hope this session will help you to understand practical concepts in the next session. Now it's homework time. Kindly revise these topics and learn it by heart, because these topics are very much important while preparation of financial statements at the time of dissolution of firm. In the next session, we will continue our next topic. Till then, dear students, to stop the COVID 19, stay home. If you don't think about yourself, think about your loved ones. So stay home, please, but study regularly.